Time. There we go. What is going on, cave dwellers? Oh, wow. Look at that. We got a special guest. Apparently, you just saw him. but another edition here of the cave Wednesday nights. And today's a special one because we got our good friend Scott Settlemire to join us. What's going on, Scott?
How are you? By the way, all my clocks are going off.
That's Tonia's favorite sound.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock here on the East Coast. We're just going to enjoy this sound.
I know, I miss that.
Tonya loves it.
I slept like a baby at your house because of those clocks.
Perfect. Well, we got a bunch of car shows coming
There's
up.
still like 3 more that have to go off yet.
Was that the only one that goes off?
No,
No, there's other ones, but they're in the background.
Okay.
We'll
I remember.
We'll hear
There's a bunch
because
of
they're
them.
not all exactly at the same time.
So what's going on, everybody? Definitely say hi. Join in on the conversation. What's going on, John? How you doing? Oh, yeah, 100%. A special night for sure. Oh,
Hi.
we got about 12 people watching
There's
so
one.
far. What? Yep, I just heard it.
Yeah, that's my 25th anniversary clock from GM.
Very nice. Glenn says hi, folks. Hi, Scott.
Hi there. Is there any reason I'm not seeing the comments other than underneath the pictures?
Oh, corner where it says banners. It should say comments, banners. What?
Hi, but you're not coming up here.
We just lost Scott. Scott just disappeared.
Uh-oh. Wrong button.
We're gonna have to send him another invite. We'll get him back on here, guys. Sorry about that. A little technical difficulty. He'll come back. I just sent him an invite. What up, Alfred? You just missed Scott. He was here and gone. No, he's coming back. He pressed the wrong button on his computer. So we do have some giveaways tonight. So for people that are here early, you will know that ahead of time. And there are a couple of things to talk about. GM's investment, the Panther trademark, of course, and Ford's big news today that dropped without dropping, right? Yep, saw him for a moment. He should be back shortly here. I sent him the link. We are going to have to figure out how the man. We were just literally talking for like 15 minutes. Let me send him the link. So how's everybody doing tonight? Everyone ready for the car season? We are. Our cars are currently still in hibernation. Crazy, I know. There he is.
I made the
There
mistake
he is.
of trying to log in.
You're back.
I am.
Whoop, whoop. Can you see the comments on the right-hand side of the screen?
No, I'm seeing Jan Livingstone. Hi, Scott from San Antonio, but it's underneath your picture.
Okay, I will keep putting all those there. You should be able to see. There should be a section on the right-hand side of the screen that says comments.
Yes.
Okay.
Do I click on it?
Click on it, yeah.
Ah, there we go.
Now you can read everything that's there.
Ah,
Now we got to stop talking about him, y'all, because he can see it.
we have John Turner, Glenn Orey, Alfred Poland, Jan Livingstone. Welcome.
Hello.
And Pathapatica and Al Morrison.
They're coming in now. He can read all the comments, guys. So definitely, if you have any questions for Scott, this is the time to do it. We do have a couple giveaways for everybody that is here. So stay tuned for that, as we will be doing that later on in the episode here. But big news from GM. Looks like they're going to be investing $888 million. Million or billion? I think it's million.
Million.
Yeah, in Buffalo, New York, to keep the V8 alive.
No, the next gen V8.
We like to hear that.
Yes.
So that's exciting, especially with everything going on with all the other brands deciding to start bringing back their engines. And I know Ram is really dying over there because they don't have a V8 anymore.
Kevin Renwick, he's Midland, Michigan. I went to college at Northwood.
There we go. What up? And Bo Hella from Midland, Texas. That's crazy. 2 Midlands.
Yeah. Oh, you're 24 1 trophy last month car show. Good.
I know we're getting ready to do a show. And it's actually going to be our first show of the year because we haven't been able to take our cars out. They're still in hibernation. But Scott's cars,
we might not even be able to take them to this one.
Let's hope the weather holds out. But we're going either way.
We might be Camaro-less.
We will bring one regardless.
We'll steal somebody's from somewhere.
If not, I'll give you Mom's.
There you go. 5 miles from me. Oh, the car show is close to you? The Cochrane show?
Yeah.
Indy Reveal 2029. Do you remember the secret the red car held? Test your memory.
Scott does. Scott's like, yep.
Yeah, it was a foam model. It looked like a real Camaro, but it didn't have an interior or drivetrain. You just pushed it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. So it was like on wheels?
It looked like a real Camaro.
I did not know that.
We do that a lot with show cars. Or they did. I don't know that they still do. Remember, I've been retired since 2016.
It doesn't feel like that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Glenn said he showed both Panthers on Memorial Day, was asked where we had them wrapped.
Yeah, the paint jobs on the Panthers are just amazing.
and Glenn's awesome. He got 2.
Of course. Well, you have to understand, I started in the fall of 72. Frick's Bar had about 8 bar stools and 1 table, pool table. And because we all went to Northwood, we all partied there. So that's how Frick's ended up so big. But I'm pleased to say that it used to take you a long time to get from the front gate of the Northwood, and it was Institute at the time. It took a long time and a lot of turns to get to Frick's Bar. Now the main gate is 600 feet from the Frick's Bar on Saginaw Road. You used to have to go in through the park and through Tittabawassee Road, right next to the Tittabawassee River. But they turned everything around.
What up, Keith? Wow. We got a lot of comments coming in. They're moving fast.
Oh, by the way, I got to show this to everybody. This is a doorbell. And in case some of you are too young to remember, that's called See the USA in your Chevrolet. We used it back in the 50s and early 60s.
The good old days of Chevrolet.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on? Hi, y'all. Can't wait till next Saturday. Yes, this is going to be Sean's first time at the Cochrane show, I believe.
Yes.
With his 24 SS1LE. He is a shark skin metallic. My memory. I don't know how you remember everything, Scott, because I need to start taking whatever you're taking.
I can't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday, but I can remember all the color names from 1964. Ember red, meadow green, azure turquoise, ermine white, tuxedo black, Bahama green.
Wow. Jan loves the doorbell.
Yep.
Unbelievable. So, been a while, but I do remember it. I feel like they just need to bring that stuff back. Like, they're like, what is their slogan now?
Together, let's drive.
See, there's that. But how many people can tell you that?
Well, the only reason I know that is because the last one was so stupid that nobody could understand it.
Find new roads.
Yes. And I got to tell you, I was at an NADA meeting, and I went to the brand meeting, and nobody could understand it, and they explained it twice.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going.
We're finding new roads.
Yeah, Scott, Nitro Yellow, we had a similar color in 1971 on Monte Carlo, Chevelle, and Nova, and it was called Placer Gold.
I actually have a question because I've actually never seen this car. I don't know why, and it's a Brickyard, but this car came up online, and I posted it onto our page today. If I can just share my screen real quick. There we go. That car. It's apparently the Brickyard 400 NASCAR pace car. It was a Camaro ZL1.
Don't remember that. Well, you surprised me.
Yeah, I was shocked myself. So if you guys want to check that out, it's in the post tab. But which is crazy, when I clicked the link to where they shared it, they had that car.
There, that's mine.
That's your car.
Well, it's one. I have one of 58. They're called Z7Ds. Mine is called Lord Quicksilver.
And that's a beautiful car.
Mm.
Like, if you guys haven't seen that car in person, you definitely need to make it out to one of these shows with that Scott brings the car, because it's pretty amazing.
I'm bringing it to the Cochran show.
Okay. Well, there you go, guys. Little insider. And do we have special guests that will be attending this Cochran show?
Don't know.
I think there's going to be a lot of NEOCC people.
Oh, I'm having the Camaro Disciple reunion at the show. There were 15 disciples. We have 10 of them coming. So
That's cool.
That is pretty awesome, guys. I can't wait. I've actually never met, I don't think I met any of them. No. Maybe one or two.
You've met Kevin Kolvenbach.
Yeah.
And do you know Jeremy Donovan?
Yes.
Okay. He may or may not be here. Jason Debler can't be here. So
was Chris Frezza one of them too, or no?
No.
Okay. I know they worked together.
Keith, yes, I'll be at Camaro Superfest this year.
We will be making that as well. This is going to be our first Camaro Superfest that we've ever attended.
Mm-hmm.
Both of us. We've never been to one.
I'm going to be at the Camaro Nationals, Camaro Superfest, Camaro Fest in Bowling Green, the Berger 100th show, and NEOCC.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of traveling.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. You hear that, Spider? He's going to be at Camaro Fest.
I'm driving Camaros to all of them except for the Berger show. I'm flying in for that one. Cousin Tom and I flying in.
Where's that show at?
Grand Rapids.
Okay.
Matt Berger, it's their 100th anniversary, 4th generation. It'll be their last show because he's probably going to sell the dealership. So
why? Well, I don't want to get into it if you don't know, but it's not my place. But damn, that's sad.
Well, he's our 10th largest dealer in the country, and he's a single point.
Unbelievable.
I am. I've been retired since 2016.
You wouldn't know it because he's one of the only people to get on social media and talk with Chevrolet enthusiasts. And still, every time I see someone post that they bought a new Chevrolet, you're the first person to thank them for their business.
Well,
it's a rarity, but people want to see that. People.
Okay, how do we get rid of these 3 plates? I have Brickyard 400 plates from 1996, plate number 67, plate number 68, and plate number 101.
Tonya has been writing questions down.
Okay.
Entire time.
I'm working on it.
She's working on it.
3 more minutes.
Oh, okay.
Glenn says it's going to be his first NEOCC event. Well, you are in for a treat.
One of my favorite shows. I look at it both ways. It's one of my favorite shows, but it kind of bums me out because it's one of the last ones of the season. And invariably, those maple trees at Summit Racing are starting to change.
Yeah. We when that show hits, you just know, like, oh, we're gonna be putting the cars away again soon. But it's one of my favorite shows as well. It's just not the show; it's the whole event that they put NEOCC puts together, because it's multiple days. So it's really nice.
I'll be right back. I got to show everybody something.
Go for it. Yeah, guys, if you have any questions for Scott, definitely put it in the comments. I'm trying to put every single comment up here. We got Alfred said I'll also be at Superfest and Camaro Nationals this year. Awesome. We will see you there. We'll get some pictures. Are you bringing your ZL1 Panther? Hopefully.
I'm bringing this as an auction piece to all the shows I'm going to, 2 or 3 of them. One Mars.
Is that a company?
No, we do it locally. We sponsor the Mars New Year, which is every 22 months. And they make this, every 22 months. So I thought, well, why not? I'll raise money for charity.
That's awesome. Let's do it. We're gonna have to get one, right? We're gonna have to throw some bids in there. All right, we're on for it. You almost done over there?
Yep.
We have an F-body meet and greet at Chevrolet on Saturday. Nice. I feel like more dealerships need to do like car shows at their stores.
The license plates are actually they're Indiana plates, and we actually put these on the cars. They're legitimate for 90 days, I believe, but we order more in case one of them gets stolen or more. Good example. That year, car number 3, Dale Earnhardt was still alive. We put them on with screws that are anti-theft. We come out that morning, they had completely removed the rear fascia from the car.
They took the whole back end of the car off.
They took the whole back end of the car off, yes.
Wow.
They wanted that plate bad.
Really bad.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yes. In fact, I've got a couple bottles of my wine. For a lot of years when we would go to Carlisle, I would have the Fbodfather's Private Reserve. So I'd order a whole case of it and then auction them off. And it cost me maybe $12 to $14 a bottle, and they would bring at least $100.
Can't beat that with a stick.
Nope. I never had the privilege of getting one of those. You should do that again.
Why?
I don't know. Because it'd be fun.
That's one of the reasons I'm doing this, because I don't have to spend a whole lot of money on this.
Oh, that's true.
So,
And it'll definitely.
I think it's $3 a can. So
anything you touch turns to gold. So we already know that.
All right.
Linda.
All right, we ready?
yep.
All right, give them the rules, babe.
All right. So we know you guys would like to join in on this giveaway. So the rule is you guys do have to be a subscriber to the channel in order to get some of our merchandise that we're giving away.
Are we gonna be able to tell?
So yeah, that's a little different. I can't tell on here if you guys are paid members or if you're just subscribed, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I might be able to.
But we can do it a different way. We're gonna go to
Just keep-
we'll just watch the channel.
Go. Just keep going through the rules.
But if you want to join, you can go to our page and go to our memberships and jump on there. It's literally $2. It's nothing crazy. We have 3 different levels. We keep it with Camaro, RS, SS, and ZL1. And you can join the membership, and then you're entitled to getting all of our giveaways when we do them pretty much weekly. So go do that. But I basically know people that are by their names over here, Tonya. So Tony's going to ask a question, and the first person to comment on that and send it in is going to be the winner. And how many? We got 3 plates, right?
Yep.
So we got 3 plates, and we have 3 questions, right?
Yes, it won't open.
I'll do it because you're not on the regular page.
Yeah, I am.
No, you're on the analytics page. Let's do it this way. Here we go. 1 second, guys. Getting it on here so we can read the comments. Perfect. There we go. Now we can see. I can see if you guys are paid members. If anybody wants to wait to become a paid member, we can definitely wait a couple minutes. But if not, we'll get this going.
Well, at least question number 1.
Yeah.
All right, so here comes question number 1, and the very first person with the correct answer is where it goes. And then what we need from you after that is you need to send an email to thecamarocave@gmail.com and tell us who you are, what you won, and where we're sending it. That way we know how to get this out to you. And I will obviously have written down who won what, but it's so that I have the address to go with it. All right, so here we go. Okay, so somebody tell us what the first Camaro with cowl, when was the first Camaro with cowl induction?
Ooh, that's a good question. Do you know, Scott? Of course he does. I mean,
you don't get to play, sir. I'm sorry.
All right, guys. The question again.
First Camaro with cowl induction.
There you go.
I'm looking for the year, and if you could tell me what it was.
Everybody's got it. 69 Z28.
Awesome. So 1969, and they called it the Super Scoop. And I even have the code for it. It was RPO Z12. And they advertised it as being standard on the Z28, and it actually was only standard on the Copo. It was a $79 add-on, guys. $79. We can't even put gas.
So, Spider Buddy, do you want me to sign the plate, and which one do you want? Again, I have 101, 68, or 67.
What number you want? Wow. Yeah, that was
10,026 Camaros that year were made from the factory with that Super Scoop.
And you said $79. You can't even get the red seatbelts for $79.
No, you can't put gas in them. You can't even fill up your tank.
Okay, Sean, Spider Buddy just gave it to you, so I need to find out which one you want, and do you want me to sign it?
There's a little delay in the comments here, so we'll just wait a minute. And then we'll get going with the next question. What number do you want? Yes.
Yes, sign it in 6. No, it's not 69. I have 67 or 68.
Woo woo. Alfred just became a YouTube member.
Welcome.
Welcome to the cave.
67. Okay.
Our newest dweller. Okay, so that's going to Sean.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll get you all the addresses. Sean.
Yeah, from PA. We're actually you're not gonna have to mail it because Sean's gonna be at the show. This weekend.
Good.
Yeah. So that makes it easy.
Mm-hmm.
Take it to the show. Take to show. Cochran show.
Yep. Cochran show.
All right. Question number 2, y'all.
Who's ready?
Tell me the first Camaro that was built outside the U.S. Most Camaros were built in Norwood, Ohio, and Van Nuys, California until this point.
Wow.
So tell me what Camaro.
Oh. Now I think you're gonna stump me on this one.
No.
Oh, he knows.
He knows. He knows. We have to cut him off. He's like, ooh, me.
No. Not 2010. You're wrong.
Anybody else want to guess for the license plate? He's like, you're wrong.
You're wrong. You're fired.
You're fired. Comments are coming in.
No. Keith, wasn't 2000. Yes, it was built. All our 5th gen cars were built in Oshawa.
True story.
Fired.
True story, but that's not the correct answer.
Wow. I was wrong. Wow. Okay.
Do I have
Very
everybody
interesting.
Stumped?
Does anybody else want to guess a year of when the first Camaro was built outside of the country? Or not outside of the country.
Yes.
Yeah, outside of the country. Yeah.
Outside of the U.S.
I was right.
Just shut. Be quiet.
You got this, babe. You handle this.
Our Escobar, I don't know. I haven't been in a product planning meeting since 2016, but and hopefully with the current president and the fact that we're going to be building V8s, if it does come back. There we go. Sean, you got it. 1993.
Correct.
Saint Therese, which is in a suburb of Montreal. All 4th gen cars were built in Saint Therese.
Yep.
And it was an F-body car.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
So 4th and 5th gens were built in Canada, and they returned back to Michigan for the 6th gen.
Yep.
And Sean, you won that. So he wants to give it to
Give
Spider.
it to Spider.
Look at that.
Who gave it to Sean?
So Spider, yeah, I have a choice of 68 or 101. Oh, Give it to
Inspired
Jan.
Give it to other people.
Alrighty.
Loving it.
So,
Loving
Jan, I need to know, do you want 101 or 68?
I love the camaraderie going on right
I
now.
know.
This is awesome.
Our dwellers are so nice to each other.
We don't need T-tops. I'm a convertible guy. I love T-tops, but they all leak. And it just drives me crazy whenever people put them on a 5th gen or a 6th gen because it severely compromises the rigidity of the car.
Now, I'm sure that was talked about in product management, like trying to do a T-top in the 5th gen or 6th gen cars. But you just hit the nail on the head. Like it would be bad.
So, Jan, do you want 68 or 101?
Jan.
She's answering everything but that. All right, so we're going to move on to the third question, which is, I can't even see my own writing. Oh, tell me when the first hatchback showed up on a Camaro. Hatchback. What year?
101.
101.
And do you want me to sign it, Jan?
That's going to be a yes.
Yeah, that's going to be a yes.
And I was definitely lucky
We'll
enough.
just answer for her.
My 4th gen T-tops never leaked. Thank God. I don't have the car anymore, so I don't know how I just did that. But I would love to get my 4th gen back.
For whoever has it now?
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. Tom's right. Tom Maricus.
Yeah.
Woo, woo. All right, Tom.
1982. And it went all the way through the 4th gen.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty awesome.
Discontinued in 2002.
Well, that's a sad year. But as we know from all of our Scott's interviews, like Scott was able to keep the car alive more years than it was supposed to be.
Correct.
How did you do that?
I was on the job 3 or 4 days, and Dick Allman was my boss. And I got called into his office, and he says, I got some bad news for you. Your car goes away at the end of 98, and I've taken away over 80% of your budget.
Wow. 1998, the car was supposed to do it.
Now, when I took over the job at the end of 96, we were losing $100 million on the Camaro alone. When it went out of production, the Camaro was the 14th most profitable car in the portfolio because we were selling a lot of LS1 engines.
The turnaround.
Mm-hmm. Now, another thing is, in 2000, they decided that we were only going to have V6s in the Camaro. And I said, then shut the plant down because we're losing money on every V6. So I take my hat off to GM Powertrain. They actually built another plant in Mexico. So if you've got an LS1 engine and it's a bright silver, it's cast in St. Catharines, Canada. If it's a darker cast, it was built in Mexico.
Wow.
There you go.
And the other interesting part about the LS1 engine is
their engines.
We had a rule at GM at the time that there had to be, I want to say, a 30 horsepower delta between Camaro and Corvette. And in order to do that, we had to put a truck cam in the Camaro engine and Firebird engine. And we advertised 325 in the SS. In reality, it was 340 to 350.
That's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony?
Who got the other plate? No, Tom did, right?
Yes.
All right, Tom, you had to send us an email. Yeah, Tom did. He definitely wants you to sign it, Scott.
Yeah. Okay.
First year, they came back with the verts also.
All right, Sean, Scott will bring yours to the Cochran Show, and
Mhm.
Tom and Jan send me the emails with your addresses. Yes,
Yeah.
Jan, I know I have your address, but I need you to send it in an email so I don't have to go spending 20 minutes digging stuff out. Straight to the top of the email.
And that is our email address, thecamarocave@gmail.com. Makes it easy.
There it is.
Oh, Tom says he can pick it up at the Cochran Show too, because he's going to be there.
Good.
That's awesome. We're going to have a lot of Camaro people. I think it's going to be a good show this year, as long as the weather holds out.
Take to Cochran Show. And so,
Awesome.
Jan, that leaves you. You coming to the Cochran Show?
I know. Just fly in from Texas. We'll pick you up at
All
the
the way
airport.
from San Antonio? To get your signed license plate?
She looked at me like, what?
I mean, probably going to be in the truck. So
That's awesome. Well, we definitely want to thank Scott for doing those giveaways. We really appreciate it, Scott. And you guys get the benefit from it. So awesome.
Anybody have any questions for me?
That's what I was going to ask.
Andy, you could park beside me only if you clean your wheels.
Well, my wheels, besides some dust, are pretty clean. They're underneath the cover still, and the car hasn't been driven since I brought it back last year.
yeah,
Unfortunately,
they are
the
all
cars are
clean,
still in hibernation.
clean and put away for once.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, a couple of them didn't get that courtesy.
No, but the Panther is 100% clean. It got ceramic boosted before it went away. So it's ready for the season.
If the season should feel like rearing its ugly head.
I don't know about a 7th gen.
The big question, right? We're keeping the faith on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it would be really nice.
I just never thought I would live to see the day that GM was down to 3 passenger cars, 2 Cadillac sedans, and a Corvette. Never.
I know it's kind of crazy that even the Malibu, like the Malibu's gone.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the tooling's been paid off on it for how long, and yet it's out of production.
Yeah, I mean, I still get customers asking about it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you have any cars? Do you have any cars? No, I have to go to Kia. Because they can't even go to another American brand because Ford doesn't make any cars.
And Chrysler's down to a minivan.
Exactly. Dodge ain't making any cars, and they just decided that their electric EV was a mistake, so they're dropping that.
Well,
26.
They're putting V8 engines back in them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just waiting for GM to decide they're going to do the same thing.
Right? Just bring the Camaro back.
I mean, you need some more excitement from General Motors. Like bring it out. Let's walk through that door and tell people, guess what? Like we're back. We're not giving up on these iconic brands and iconic cars. And don't feel bad. Like you can bring other vehicles back. Those nameplates are iconic. Use them.
Maybe we should have a car meet right outside and storm the GM building.
Which one? Because they're not
nobody left in the Renaissance Center.
Are they even still there?
Well, they've moved all the brand teams over in the old Campbell Ewald Tower across from the Tech Center. But they're gonna move out. Miss Mary decided she's going to lease on a 20-year lease several floors in what is now called Hudson Place, which used to be the location of the old J.L. Hudson department store downtown. And they imploded it. And when they did, it took down part of the People Mover, which they didn't anticipate. So for the next couple of years, the People Mover went as far as 1 block from the Hudson building, then turned around and went back the other way. So,
see, and that's upsetting.
Yeah. So they're either going to tear 2 of the 4 office towers down, the ones closest to the Detroit River, so that you'll have the 68-story hotel tower and then 2 of the regular 39-story towers, which they will turn into condos. Or in some cases, they may decide to just tear the whole thing down.
I see. I feel like that'd be just a mistake. I mean, it's been the iconic, literally skyline of Detroit for as long as I can remember. I mean, everyone, every time I went to Detroit, we had to get pictures with the GM building.
Of course. And it's interesting because when GM bought the building, the division of General Motors that owns all our plants and buildings is called Argonaut. And the president of Argonaut walked out in front of all the press and said, if you'll remember, when it was built, there was a concrete berm that separated Jefferson Avenue from the Renaissance Center. And he said, the first thing we're going to do is tear these berms down and welcome in Detroit. What he didn't realize is that's where all the heating and air conditioning was. And the plants growing out of the side of it we basically had people in spacesuits because it was so badly polluted. So it took us 6 months to tear those down.
Wow. That'd cost a lot of money.
We bought it for 10 cents on the dollar. But when it was all said and done, it cost us more than 100%.
I know.
With all the modifications we had to make the building.
I know, Escobar. It's sad because I'm working at the dealership level with Chevrolet myself, and I'm asking the product trainer all the time, what's coming, what do we got going? I mean, let's be honest, their product is the best it's been in a long time, and the technology is unbelievable, and all the redesigns, people are loving it. Their sales are showing it, so they're selling vehicles. There's just the lack of excitement on vehicles that you want to drive, that you want to buy because you want to drive it. That's how I feel. And most people aren't spending $100,000 on a vet. There's nothing below that. That's the problem. And it was always Camaro was there.
Who would have thought GM's most exciting brand is Cadillac? He's right. In the words of some people. Because let's face it, the CT4 and the CT5 are basically four-door Camaros.
Yep. And they're still making
architecture.
And the configurer just went live today for 2026. So you can build your 2026 Cadillacs if you want on their website.
Not sure what Keith is saying there.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know, Keith. When were you a kid? We all were kids at different times.
I don't know if I agree with that. There is still a huge majority of people that want something exciting to purchase. I mean, if you look at Camaro owners, first of all, most of us don't have just one, and we're always getting the next and the next and the next, and that's what's been like Camaro's journey, right? Like, if you got a third gen, you want to get a fourth gen, you want to get a fifth gen, you want to get sixth gen, and it's just combined down the road, and then you want to pass those cars off to your family. So that's just how I always thought about it, but I could be wrong.
Well, first of all, Keith, the GM building still exists, but it's called Cadillac Place, and it's over on. It's built in the 20s. Grand Boulevard, but they figured out it was going to cost too much to re-engineer the building, so that's why we bought the Renaissance Center. The Renaissance Center was originally built by several people, one of them being Henry Ford II, and when it didn't sell out, Ford moved some of their offices in there. When we bought it, and they didn't know that GM was buying it because we used an outside company to do it, we had to make sure that you couldn't see in through the windows. So they put in curtains. Anytime you met in in a meeting room, you had to pull the curtains down because we were afraid of spies.
That makes sense.
So, yeah, we bought that. I want to say
Sneaky.
I moved down there in 1999 from the tech center.
Well, and that's also the crazy thing, right? GM only has one manual car left.
Two,
sorry.
well, two of the three, because you can't get a Corvette with a manual transmission.
Yeah. So
but you
there's
can
two
from the
cars.
CT4 and the CT5.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. So 2 cars left with manual transmission. Think about that. Wow. And
If they bring the Camaro back, it better come back in a manual.
that might be keeping your breath a little bit longer. Keep the fifth on that.
Don't bring it back as some sissy car like the one that you have parked outside.
Panther, you have Buick with a question mark. What's your question? I don't know about that. I've been retired since 2016, so it would be inappropriate for me to talk about that.
Pontiac is not coming back. Yes, we I don't know if you saw it too, Scott, where GM just bought the trademark back for Pontiac.
Mm-hmm.
So of course now the speculation's going crazy.
Yeah,
Pontiac's gonna return. But GM was losing a lot of money on Pontiac.
Oh yeah. The reason Oldsmobile went away, and nobody wanted to go away, but in the last 4 years of its existence, the only Oldsmobile we made money on was the Aurora, and we made a total of $23 a car on it. We lost as much on an Olds Intrigue as we made on a Chevy Impala.
Wow.
That's why Oldsmobile and Pontiac and Saturn and Hummer all went away. Now, the reason Buick didn't is because we sell 5 times as many Buicks in China as we do in this country. And so Buick is very profitable. The other thing is people ask us why we still have GM truck and Chevy truck. Well, because of all the franchise laws, you can't just give Chevrolet truck franchises to a GMC dealer because every state has different franchise laws.
That makes sense. Which explains why, like, my dealer owner has 5 Chevy stores, but one of his Chevy stores is a Chevy Buick store, which is really weird. But GM wouldn't allow them to buy another Chevy store unless they had another GM product.
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't it couldn't be a GMC because that was truck. Makes sense.
By the way, we had to pay a royalty for the Trans Am name, $5 a car.
There was a royalty on the Trans Am name?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Did you know?
The organization that owns the Trans Am, we paid $5 a car.
Wow. Back then, that was a lot of money, especially if you were selling. How many Trans Am were they selling back then?
I'm sorry?
How many Trans Ams were they selling back then?
Quite a few.
It was a popular car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Especially from 98 to 2002.
My ex-husband.
At least 70% of them were Trans Ams.
Oh, snap.
Pathapatica, was IROC a royalty name? It stands for International Race of Champions. And you could use it if you supported it. So we supported it from 1985 to 1990 on the 3rd gen cars. And I don't remember, we did it for a couple years in the 2nd gen cars, but we didn't do IROC models.
Is that what is the Trans Am series? Because it was racing series.
Yes.
wasn't
Loved that car. That started my love of Camaros.
it? Really?
But I rock California edition.
Well, Jan, I'm old enough to remember when GM had a rule that you couldn't own more than one dealership. And we were one of the last companies to say, yeah, it's okay. I will tell you that virtually nobody owns one dealership anymore. They're all owned. Good example. The Barrel family started out in 1951 here in Wexford, Pennsylvania, which is a suburb of Pittsburgh, by three brothers. Started out as Chevy. One of them had a son, Lee Barrel, and he started collecting franchises. His uncles died, and his aunts came to him, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago, and said, we want our money. So he had no choice but to sell the entire dealership group of like 16 dealerships and the name to the world's largest conglomerate, which is Lithia, based in Portland, Oregon. They have over 600 dealerships.
Wow. That's crazy.
Cousin Tom sold the dealership. Cousin Tom and Sue sold their dealership in December of 2020 to the Jim Shorkey organization. They have at least 25 or 30 dealerships.
What did I do wrong? Should have bought a car dealership or 12.
2027 is Camaro's 60th anniversary. It should come back for that. I need one. Yes, and so do I, but it's not going to happen. You can read all about it in www.notgonnahappen.com.
Fake news.
It takes several years from conception to 5, right?
Yes.
7 years.
Well, the interesting part is we were working on a 7th gen Camaro. I don't know whatever happened to that. All I know is I now know less than a dozen people at General Motors because they offered, I want to say 6,000 retirements in July of 2023, and every one of them took it.
Bye, Keith.
See you, Keith.
See you, Keith. Be well.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
All right, guys, any questions for Scott?
Last call, y'all. Any questions for Scott before we wrap this up here? And again, definitely thanks so much, Scott, for joining us. We always love that on here. And we can't wait to see you.
By the way, I'm wearing my Camaro Cave shirt. Thank you so much.
Of course. And I had to rock the Thor shirt.
Yep.
I had to rock Scott's Thor, which for people don't know, Scott still got his car back. And I just saw that you posted a couple of days ago. Was it last week? Was the anniversary of you getting your car back?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Well, okay. First of all, most captive test fleet vehicles get scrapped.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we turned them into the GM proving grounds in Milford, and bad things happened to them. So I'm sitting at my desk about 2.5 months later, and the phone rings, and it's somebody from Milford saying, Mr. Settlemire, your Camaro's ready. I went, what Camaro? And they said, your captive test fleet vehicle. And I went, oh, well, Cousin Tom's a dealer. So, I sold it to Cousin Tom, and he sold it to Melissa, who lived about 2 or 3 miles from the dealership. And she absolutely loved the car. And then they got transferred to Phoenix. So when I was out visiting Cousin Sue a couple years ago, I met them for dinner, and she says, I'm thinking about selling Thor. I couldn't write the check fast enough. So he is now back where he belongs, in my garage.
And we're so excited to see him again.
Yes.
Same.
And I had everybody sign underneath the hood and the trunk. So, people asked me to sign their cars. So I decided, well, I'll have everybody sign Thor. So he's got about 1,200 signatures.
Wow.
We are proud to say we are one of those signatures.
Mm-hmm.
We got a couple questions coming in, actually. Looks like. Did you ever see a bronze/gold color experiment on a 5th gen?
Well, let me tell you how we pick colors. We pick them based on what you have. First of all, in order to be able to pick colors, you have to pass a test at General Motors at Design Studio. It involves a row of 20 checkers in various shades, going from purple to blue, blue to purple, green to blue, you name it. 600 of them, 20 in a tray. And you have to put your head inside a complete booth with special lights on. If you miss more than 5 putting them in order, you aren't a color expert. I always thought I was color blind. I only missed 3.
Wow.
So we have what we call painting bucks. And they're usually cars from the proving grounds that they've painted. Some of them are clown suited, which means one side of the car is one shade of the color and the other side of the car is a different shade, but close. So, good example. Cheryl Pilcher calls me one day and says, can you meet me at Design Studio because I need your opinion on a green? I said, well, I can be there in about 2.5 hours. So I get there and they've got this Solstice in a dark green. The problem with the dark green is it doesn't have metallic. And I said, forget it. We had that color in 73. It swirls worse than black. And I turned around and there was an S10 in Synergy green. And I said, now that's the color we need. And that's how we got Synergy green.
Proud owner right here. Thank you.
Oh, how do I get that picture of young cousin Tom so I can put it next to Mr. Young Settlemire in my office? We'll chat.
I actually showed Tonya that earlier today. I was like, wow. She's like, oh my God.
Yeah, Tammy, I'm going to be at the Cochran show this next weekend. Then I'm doing Camaro Superfest in Michigan, the Camaro Nationals in Morgantown, Pennsylvania, Camaro Fest in Bowling Green, Kentucky, the Berger 100th anniversary show in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and the NEOCC show in Talmadge, Ohio.
Very interesting.
Well, now in Panther, it's interesting. You'll sit there and there's like, when we picked navy blue in 98, you have several different colors of dark blue. And we picked one and they said, that's $281 a car. And navy blue is $54 a car.
That's a big difference.
Navy blue it is.
Navy blue it is.
Unbelievable.
And that's why we charge a premium for a lot of our paints, because not only are they tint coated, but some of them are tri-coated. So they've got to go through the paint system 3 times.
And in fact,
now people ask us, why did we not do transformers in the color that Bumblebee actually was? Take a guess at how much the paint cost. $8,000. It will take 8 different trips through the paint booth to get it that color. That's why it was yellow.
wow.
And by the way, Thor is the first Transformers car built. I had him converted I had K Graphics come over and put all the Transformer emblems and stripes on them so that we could unveil it at Camaro's at Carlisle. And on my way to Carlisle, John Fitzpatrick calls me and says, don't unveil the car because Hasbro hasn't signed the contract yet. So he spent the entire weekend under a cover going, this is such bullshit.
Let me out, Dad. Let me out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah, Jan, shark skins of tricolor.
Did you see the new green that they're coming out with on the new Corvette? Finally, a nice green. Roswell green metallic. It's not Synergy, but
Damn close.
it's pretty close.
Looks like a
Well, and the other thing is, we had somebody at GM Design who was terminally cute. Good example, the magenta. We have a marketing name and an engineering name. The marketing name was Magenta Metallic. The engineering name was Ladies and Magentlemen.
magenta.
It's great.
Good, another good one is, I forget, I want to say it was 2015. The engineering name was Old Blue Eyes. Now, the problem is when you go into a parts department, it shows the engineering name.
Mm-hmm.
So you say, well, I've got an Imperial Blue one. No, it's Old Blue Eyes.
It's cool to see the names.
Now I know that obviously troubles with Synergy Green. Was it the same effect with like Aqua Blue? Because I know that became super popular, but then obviously they couldn't get that color anymore.
Well, no, what happened was at GM, if you fall below 3%, you get a 60-day warning from the assembly plant because the paint deteriorates in the vats quickly. And if you don't get it up, it gets dropped in 60 days. So we announced it was going to go away, and it actually dropped lower. Back to 1999, we had 3 new colors: pewter, hugger orange, and bright blue metallic. Bright blue metallic didn't last 5 months.
Wow.
Synergy hugger orange lasted almost the whole year. And the second best seller was pewter, which of course we painted every color in the sun at GM pewter, but it looked good on a Camaro and a Firebird.
Now, good luck finding pewter metallic on any car.
Mm-hmm.
They still put it on the Blazer, and they're actually bringing it back. That color is now going to be on the new 2026 Equinox and Trailblazer.
Yeah.
Crazy. Must be cheap tonight.
People, I got to run. Good being with you.
We appreciate it.
Safe. And by the way, please wear your seatbelts. We put them in there for a reason. Be well.
We appreciate it, Scott. Thank you. Have a good night.
Later.
Well, guys, that'd be Scott Settlemire. And we can't thank him enough for being on and being good friends to us. But that's why I had to rock the Thor shirt. Thor returns because his car is back, and the whole back of the shirt has his whole car on it. Really cool. So I don't know if we have any more of these. We might do a giveaway later on down the road. We shall see. But thank you all for joining us tonight. If there's no other questions, we're being on for an hour. Scott spent a lot of time with us. That was really nice.
We need to go see how many Camaros are available.
Oh, we do have to check how many cars are still left.
Yeah, because there was only 3 last week or 2 weeks ago.
Of course. Thanks for everyone being with us. We really do appreciate it and supporting the channel. And we'll definitely have Scott on here more. And if you haven't watched the previous interviews we did with Scott, we've done like 7 or 8 interviews with Scott. If you want to hear more of his in-depth interviews, go look at our playlist. We have a playlist for GM retired employees. Go check that out. And literally you can see Tom Henry's on there. Scott Settlemire has, like I said, like 8 videos of him talking about being with General Motors. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely worth a watch. Go check it out.
Directly from the couch in Mars.
We were with him in his house on the couch in Mars. So go check that out. Let's see. We'll see you at Tom's, Linda. We appreciate you being here. We'll see you and Anthony at Tom's. We're looking forward to it. And let's just see how many Camaros we have left for sale. Brand new 2024s. are left out there on the market. Last time it was only 3. So how many are still left on the market, brand new, in the United States of America? Let's see how many are left, shall we? And also, big news from Ford today. If anybody hasn't seen what got dropped that wasn't supposed to get dropped today, let's take a look. 2024. Let's put it up here. Let's share the screen with you all so you can see what I'm seeing. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. We still got 3, which we know it's going to be 2, right? Because we know one car is not available, and it's that white SS. So we still have those 2 3LT convertibles. For one, the Shark Skin Metallic convertible with the black wheels is $44,988, which is the sales price of the vehicle, because we know the MSRP is a little bit higher than that. And of course, the 3LT convertible in black with the black wheels, black top, RS package on both cars, looks like. And that one, $48,490 on those cars. Now, the white one we know is not for sale, but it has not dropped the website yet because the owner of the dealership purchased that vehicle for himself, and we can confirm that because we spoke to them. Boom, boom, boom. Night, Spider. Have a good night. Thank you both for helping keep this legendary model relevant. Be well. Appreciate that, Gardo. Thank you so much. We are not giving up on that. That's for sure. That is something that we stand by. We love the car. We think there is a place for the vehicle. And there was once a time not too long ago where Camaro sold over 500,000 units. And we think it can get back there with the right guidance.
100%.
See you later. Good seeing all of my fellow Camaro enthusiasts. 100%, Alfred. It's always adios, amigos. Have a good night, y'all. And before we go, one last thing to show y'all, because Ford dropped this today. Well, Ford didn't drop it, but someone else did it on behalf of Ford. The spy photographs of the new Mustang GT 500. So if Ford can bring back the Mustang GT 500
Camaro
for their 7th generation,
where are you at?
Yeah. Mustang's not done. Ford's not done. They're driving this car around the streets of Michigan, testing it.
Yeah.
Where are you at, GM? Let's go.
Time to get it together, guys.
Time to start working.
All right, everybody, be safe this weekend. Send us any results from any shows that you go to, and wear your seatbelts and keep the faith.
Keep the faith. Have a good night, y'all. Adios.